Hi everyone, I'm Shelly from There's No Place Like Home at redheadmom8.wordpress.com. A few days ago I shared with you what our homeschool morning time routine looks like. So today I thought it would be fun if I would share with you what is in our morning time basket. Now before I even show you, remember that our morning time is for our 4th, 5th, 6th, and 8th grader. So I'll actually show you my afternoon basket later on this week, which is what I use for my littles. So I don't actually use an actual basket. I use this little tote right here that I picked up at the Dollar Tree, but it works fine just the same. And I want you to remember that all morning time baskets look different, okay? What it looks like in my home will probably be not very close to what it looks like in your home, and that's okay. This is really just to give you some examples or even just to give you a little glimpse into what other homeschooling families do. So the first thing I'm going to show you that's in our morning basket is the Bible. That is falling apart, as you can see, because from overuse. Now, the reason that I use this kid's devotional Bible is because we actually use it for the devotion in the beginning. Before we even do morning time, all of the kids do devotions together. But then I do use this after the little ones go upstairs. The middles and I, once we start our morning time, the first thing we do is read through the Bible. They each have their own. Now, they don't have this one. They have different ones. And we just read verse by verse. And we're trying to go through the Bible together. And right now, we're in the book of Matthew. The next thing that we have is our read aloud book. And right now for us, that's The Prisoner of Azkaban. And our read aloud typically takes maybe from 20 to 30 minutes because I stop and I let the kids narrate in the middle just to, make sure that they're actually listening, and it also really helps with their oral narration skills. So again, Harry Potter, that's what we're doing right now. So, and that's actually a good time to just let you know that homeschool morning baskets, they do change over time. It's not always the same things in a morning basket all year long. They do change as time goes on. Once you finish a book, or sometimes you might decide that something would be better for your homeschool at that point in time. So they do change, and it's not going to be something that looks the same all the time. Now, so after we do Bible and our read aloud, the next thing that we do is what I call our loop scheduling. And I did talk about that in my last video a little bit. And if you didn't see that one, I will link that in the description box. So we have 4 things in our loop scheduling. And our loop scheduling are just 4 specific skills or concepts that I really want my kids to practice on, but we don't do all 4 of them every single day. We rotate them. First, we do the first one on one day, and then the next one goes the next day. And I don't assign specific days for each one. We just kind of, do it in order. So the first one is Mad Libs. My kids love doing Mad Libs. And it's such a fun and easy way for your kids to brush up on their parts of speech. And, it's a really nice way to start the morning because you're laughing and having fun together. And I can't count the amount of times my kids have asked me if we could just do one more. They really, really like doing this. So the next thing on our loop schedule is Cursive. So I don't actually use a curriculum for Cursive. All I do is I actually will write the letter that we're working on that day myself in just a little composition book. So what I have in this morning basket are all of my kids' cursive books. So I write down the letter that we're working on that day, and I'll have them trace it, and then they have to make their own. And I'll often write words that include the letters that they've learned in their books so that they can learn what they look like together, how to string them together. And the same thing, they trace it, and then they make their own. So that's the next thing on our loop schedule. The third thing that we do in our loop schedule, and this is another thing that we do not use a curriculum for, I keep my kids' journals in their morning time basket. Now the journals are something that we do in our copywork rotation, not copywork, notebooking rotation that takes place usually later on in the day. But I always keep their journals in our morning time basket because I use these for a refresher on grammar and punctuation. So what I will usually have my kids do is I will have them open up to any page that they'd like in their journal, and I'll give them a specific task to do that day. It might be underlining all of the nouns, or it could be circling all of the adjectives, or possibly going through what they wrote on that specific day and making sure that all of the periods or commas are in the right place. So I'm taking something that they've already done on their own, and I'm helping them to brush up on things that they really do need to get to learn about with something that they already have, rather than just using a curriculum that really won't have much meaning for them. But if I'm helping them to improve something that they themselves were working on, it really makes a difference. The last thing on our loop scheduling is Story of the World. And I love this. Now, history is my favorite subject to teach. I hated it when I was in school, but I love it now just because using living books for history is such a beautiful way to learn about what happened in the past. And textbooks in school are really boring, and it's all about memorizing dates and timelines, and it just has no feeling to it at all whatsoever. But Story of the World really is a wonderful way to work through history. I'm hoping to get through all of the books with my kids. And we've just been reading one chapter. It's usually about once a week. All of the 4 items on our loop schedule usually do get done about once a week. So that's what we're doing. Oh, and I also do want to say, you're probably going to notice that I do have other history in here too. That's because I've turned into a history buff. But things change, as I said earlier, so it's not always all history that we're doing. A lot of times we'll do a lot of science too, so it works itself out. And the last thing that I have in my morning basket right now is my Beautiful Feet books, Early American History, little teacher's manual. Well, I said little, it's not really little, but anyway, I have the teacher's manual for Beautiful Feet books. And then I have the book that we're actually going to be starting this week. We're going to start reading William Bradford, Pilgrim Boy together. Obviously, because Thanksgiving is coming up next month, and I thought it would be a good way to learn about, the Pilgrims and early American history. Now, we did just finish reading about Pocahontas last week, so this is something new. And I know that there are those of you out there who kind of check things off according to schedule. You're probably looking at this basket thinking there's no science in there. But as I said earlier, it really does work itself out for us, because a lot of times we're working in the Beautiful Feet books, but then other times we're working with CONUS unit studies, which really do have a lot of science in them. We just finished an Earth unit study that we spent about 3 or 4 months working on. So we did a whole lot of science in that time. So I'm really comfortable with just taking some of the science out for the time being and covering a lot of history for now. So that's really what our morning time basket looks like. And another thing I want to add, I know that you can hear people spend different amounts of times on their morning baskets or in their morning time. Some people might spend 10 minutes and other people might spend, say, an hour in their morning time. Our morning time typically takes between an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes, which may sound like a lot to you, but that is because our morning time really does take up the bulk of our homeschooling day. Once we've completed everything in this morning basket, all that we need to do from that point on with this group, with the middles, is they go on and they do their individual math, silent reading, and notebooking. And that's it. So it might seem like a lot of time to spend on a morning basket, but that's because our homeschool really is centered around what we do in our morning time. So if you have any ideas for a morning basket that you would like to share with others, leave a comment. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe, go ahead and do that. I would really appreciate it. And I hope you have a great day.